Welcome back to another episode of Captain Coleslaw Outdoors with yours truly. And it is July 31st. It is the last day of July, which means tomorrow starts August, which means we start prepping for archery season here very, very quickly. And you might see that on the bed of my truck here. I got all of my saddle hunting setup stuff out, spread out. And it's honestly just a huge humble jumble mess here on my tailgate. Look at this. There is so much crap sitting on my tailgate right now, and all of it goes up into the tree with me every single time I go up on a saddle hunt. So I figured rather than taking you guys out on a little adventure, trying to kill something or catch something or whatever it may be, I would use this episode to do something very, very informative, especially for all of you people out there who are skeptics or want to kind of learn saddle hunting, but have no idea where to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my saddle on, and then item by item, I'm going to inventory everything that I carry in my saddle, carry in my backpack, and then ultimately how all of those things work together to get me into a tree. So if you're one of those people who's trying to decide if saddle hunting is ultimately worth it, especially if you're an archer, this is the video that hopefully will either make you or break you. Honestly, saddle hunting, in my opinion, is an incredible way to be versatile in your hunting style, especially if you're a deer hunter in hard timber, areas where there's a lot of edge habitats, places where you'll find fields and forests. We've killed deer working off of both of those kinds of landscapes, bedding areas and feeding grounds. So when it comes down to, do you want to do saddle hunting or not? I think it is incredibly versatile. You're going to invest a lot of money and time trying to get your stuff figured out, and ultimately you're going to use a lot of time troubleshooting your arsenal needed to get up in a tree. And the thing about saddle hunting is it is meant to be a minimalist style hunt, meaning you don't need a whole lot of stuff. Well, you look at that tailgate, it might tell you otherwise. My video is I want to break down what you need, absolutely need to go into your saddle, ultimately what needs to go in your backpack, and then ultimately how those things work together to get you elevated so you can be hunting. All right, so let's break this down. First thing, you need a saddle. Now, I have two ropes hanging off of my saddle itself. I have a tethered menace, and then I have two what they call hauler bags that come with this thing. You gotta buy them. They don't actually come with it unless you buy like a kit. But you need, in my opinion, those two bags onto your actual saddle itself. And then there's two ropes hanging off of here. The thicker rope is your lineman's rope and has a big old carabiner loop at the end of it. Then I have a ropeman clip, which is that orange gizmo there that actually allows you to adjust the length of your lineman's rope. And this is what you're gonna wrap around the tree and ultimately climb with. So you got your lineman's rope, and you've got on the other line, that is your haul line that you're gonna be hauling your bow up and down the tree with. So we got those two ropes hanging off of us. You're gonna put your saddle on. So you're gonna put your bridge rope on in front of you. And then in front of your bridge rope, you got a waist clip, goes like that. And then you have two underleg clips, which go like so. And now you're in your saddle, right? Saddle's on, ready to go. Now I'm gonna take this lineman's rope and I'm gonna leave it out for a minute. However, I am gonna take my bow rope and I'm gonna wind that up. And I'm gonna put that in a little side pocket of one of these haulers. Now it's important that you use a side pocket because you don't want anything blocking this, because this is going to be one of the first things that you pull out of your pack. So you don't want to put it at the bottom of the main pocket of a hauler. So I'm just going to stick it in this side pocket right here of the hauler itself, where it doesn't have to compete with any other objects and it's easy to pull out. This bag on my left is I like to make my rope bag. And I have 3 ropes in it, all of which are gonna be super, super important once you're up in the tree. And I'm putting them in the order that I would pull them out of the bag, so I'm not like scrambling through this little knapsack to get to the right rope. The first one I have is a gear rope. There's different forms of these, but it has hooks. So I've got some carabiners that can go on it. And the goal of this, Little Johnson, is you're gonna put this up in the tree to help you hold your gear around the tree itself. You can use bow hooks as well, but I like the rope because it's got more loops and more hooks for more objects, especially for filming. So that's gonna go in the bottom of the main pouch of my rope bag. Then you gotta have your tether rope. It's got a loop at one end, and then the other end is just kind of straight, and you're gonna run that through as a slip knot. So when you get up into the tree, you can slip knot that onto the tree itself, just like I did on my arm there. Now obviously you don't want to have that slip knot formed until you get up in the tree, but that also is going to come with a carabiner clip. Normally it's knotted onto the lineman's rope, but this one, I have one of those ropeman clips that you can find on Tethered's website, by the way. Not sponsored, but love their gear. It's definitely efficient, and it's kind of minimalistic in regards to what gear you need to be safe and have a good hunt. So your lineman's rope is going to go into your saddle over that gear hanging rope, which is also on Tethered's website, I might add. And then that lineman's rope, the one that's already tied on to my saddle, I'm going to just kind of loop that up, and I'm going to put that on the top of that rope bag, and then I'm going to seal it shut. That is how I walk into the woods with those. Now, in addition to the ropes, I have any ropes that would tie around your climbing sticks to get you into the tree. I have them all kind of bundled up into small tied bundles. They're going to go in one of the side pockets of my hauler. And then I have a bag of milkweed, which I throw up to check the wind while deer hunting. That just goes in the second hauler pouch there. Has nothing to do with climbing, but once you're up in the tree, all this other stuff is going to be out of your bag. That's kind of the only thing that that pocket needs to hold, or what that entire pouch needs to hold. So I throw that in there, just kind of least priority. Now let's go to this other pouch. So our bowstring is already in here, but this is my accessory pouch. This is where all the stuff that I could use, but I don't necessarily need, goes. I carry a second tether rope to tie up to a tree in here, always down at the bottom, just in case. You never know when you might need another rope for some safety reason. Then I have a second panel. This is made by Tethered. It's called the MVP panel, and it's a support rest. It can actually, while you're in the tree, and you'll see this, it can either support your back while you're tethered in up front, so it kind of supports your back as you lean back, or you can put it down below your saddle once you loosen it up. It becomes kind of like a bench, like a seat, and you can sit while it hangs up above you. It's a versatile tool. It costs about 35, 40 bucks. Stupid simple. You could make this out of a piece of strap, but I put that in right over top of my backup strap. And then as an archer, this is also the pouch where I put my bow release. I put it right on top because that's going on the moment I get into the tree strapped in. And that bag is ready to go. Last but not least, the last thing that goes into my saddle is a range finder. You're gonna need, because you never know where you're gonna end up hanging into a tree. And when you're doing that, you wanna know the distances of all the major landmarks where a deer might be walking. You use the range finder to, figure out where your best shooting opportunity is gonna be and what pin you should be using on your bow. Also, I have a retractable zip line clip, so I can attach that to my gear hanger so it's not hanging on my body. It'll hang right in front of me while I'm hunting. And that, ladies and gentlemen, rounds out my entire saddle in regards to the gear that goes into it. That is my saddle, hooked up, rigged up, balanced, and ready to go into the tree. But before we get up into the tree, we got to talk about the climb itself. What goes into your backpack? One thing that I want to kind of segue the saddle to your climbing backpack, which is going to hold your platform and your climbing sticks, you want some knee pads. So knee pads are going to help you just be more protected, more balanced up against the tough bark of a tree. So I'm going to rig those up as well. Now you've got that ready to go, as well to climb the tree. Got your knee protection, got your saddle. Now let's talk backpack. Now there's a variety of different backpacks and knapsacks and all kinds of stuff that you can use to carry gear. I have this Tideway 2.0 heavy hunter bag. I also carry camera equipment though. So if you're doing that, great bag. I'd recommend it off Amazon for like 50 bucks. Otherwise, you could probably use something way simpler. But ultimately, in order to climb the tree, you need your platform. I have a Predator platform, which is tethered. It's kind of standard. I bought everything as a kit from them. Through research, they have like a make your own, gear pouch. So you can kind of create the ultimate kit of all the stuff you need. And a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you was there. So check them out online. I'm not sponsored, like I said, but they sure make it user-friendly, customer-friendly. And then the other thing you're gonna need is some form of climbing sticks. But I wanna stress something. You don't wanna miss this part. Make sure you write this down. Critically important. On my climbing sticks, I've attached a loop of paracord rope that I could tie through one of the holes in the stands. My climbing sticks have those holes. I have Hawk Helium climbing sticks. These are little 2-footers. But I have these 4 loops that I tied on. And then I have a big ol' S hook on the side of my belt that I had to buy and put on there. When you go up into a tree, you're gonna hang those paracord loops onto this clip. That way you can climb and carry all your sticks with you and hang them one by one until you're all the way up in the tree, as you're gonna see in a minute. And these can clip right to the underside of my bag. There you have it. You got your backpack now, and you got your saddle. Now, we're ready to walk in and start hunting. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to the tree, and we're gonna go shoot some arrows and show you how all this stuff works together.